Patreon member shout out. The pictures tell the story. This life has many shades. I wake up every morning, and before I start each day, I take a drag of last night's cigarettes, smoldered in its tray. Down a little something, and then be on my way. Everyone, please welcome Orange Bag Lady. It is I, the real Randy Chavez. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. And everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Oh, God. I'm not. Okay. We're good. We're good.
You don't know how long I've been waiting to do that with you. Honestly, honestly.
I am glad that you are here with the Dashi. This is a good day. This is a good day.
Good
So
day.
for those of you that are just joining us, well, me and Orange Bagley were talking a little bit before how I get to know you thing. Like she went to go get up, and she's like, huh! and same thing. I did the exact same thing. It's like we're getting older, and something that I don't know if he's on your channel at all, Bert the Jerk. I don't know if you know.
Doesn't ring a bell. I'll check
He
him out though.
mentioned that the song Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne turns 20 years old this year. And I had that. I needed to take a minute, and I was not. Oh, I probably should have warned you about that. I was
Okay.
not okay because I was like, "There's no way," and I was like, "Wait, oh, okay, well, yeah." That, and then no, she still looks great. You still look great. Depending on the day, I feel like now because I cleaned up the beard a little bit, I don't look too bad. But um, what has it been like? And you're in what country again?
I'm in Northern Ireland, over the UK. Yeah.
Yeah. And over the past 20 years, is that where you've lived for like forever or for most of your life?
Yeah, indeed, indeed. I was born in England in a place called Norfolk.
Mhm.
My dad was stationed there. He was in the RAF. So I was born on a army camp, and then he was then stationed in Belfast, and then we've just kind of stayed here. But
Oh, cool.
my mom's from here as well.
I had a couple of friends in Lakenheath, the air base over there, for the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I haven't had
Excellent.
I haven't been there in a while. I think it was like since 2019. Been a little while, but it was fun. It was good. How has how has that been the last 20 years? What has changed over there for you? How is it different?
Oh my goodness. Well, just thinking back to like I was a huge Avril Lavigne fan, like Blink 182, all of
Yeah.
those like Green Day, all the pop like the sort of more commercial punk bands back in the day. Um, and I was going through my like the red and black stripe stage, and you have like I used to oh God, it was awful. I used to straighten my fringe, like it was like a big swoop fringe, and I'd
Yeah.
have all my curly hair. Oh, it was awful. Oh my God,
Do
because
you
I
have
just
any
wanted to
pictures
look
of that?
like I am never showing anybody those pictures. That's not happening. Um, but yeah, like the big baggy jeans and the chain and everything. So like yeah. So thinking back to how long ago that was, that's really terrifying.
Uh,
And how far music has come, like fashion, culture, like everything, and especially like in Belfast where I am in Northern Ireland, it's very um it's slow. It's very slow to like catch on to trends and that sort
so
of thing. Like it's a bit traditional
yeah.
in a lot of ways. Um,
So and
I
is
don't know
like
if
the
you know much about
fashion.
this side of
Yeah,
the world, but
yeah. In like years ago, where I lived in like Nassau County, there's a county to the east of me called Suffolk County, and they were a little slower with the fashion. And then to
mm,
the west of me, like an hour away, was New York City, and it was like a 10-year time difference, like going between the two back in like the early 2000s, because like most of the people that takes a while to get to the city, they don't really go there, and the fashion doesn't catch up. It's really wild. It's like
it
places that are just like
is.
an hour and a half away, just so different. Um,
It's totally insane. And even here in Belfast, where I grew up on the other side of town, and even like fashion from there to where I live now. I live like across the town in a place I'd never really ventured into when I was growing up. Um, like the accent, even the accents from across town to here are different. It's crazy. So yeah, there's a lot of difference here.
is where you guys are at, and I'm not 100% sure where they are. Any worries about the Irish Republican Army or any type of uh, either terrorist attacks or retaliation attacks on one side or the other?
Well, when it comes to like attacks or very significant attacks from that side, I don't think we're anywhere near, like back in the day when the troubles were happening, and it was a very prominent issue back then. Um, but there's definitely still tension.
Yeah,
Um, but they're nowhere near as prominent as they used to be. No doubt there are still people with their beliefs and their cultural differences. Um, but yeah, there's still a peace wall that runs straight through Belfast that separates Catholics and Protestants. Like that's still there.
yeah.
We do have very segregated communities. We have very like segregated schooling systems as well. So yeah, there's not that threat level, but there's definitely segregation that still happens here. It's just
Damn.
it's horrible. It's horrible.
Damn. So like the tension is
It's
still
really
there on
unfortunate.
that. Damn, that's rough.
Can
I
be, yeah.
Has any of that gotten better since, like 20 years ago? Like worse? Is it kind of the same? Is it
Mm, 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 mm. Oh, it's gotten way better. Way
okay,
better.
good.
Like, yeah, oh yeah, flip. Like, it sounds scary, but um, people kind of have just gotten used to it to a certain extent. But the younger generation, like my generation and the ones before us, uh, aren't tolerating any of this division.
Good.
Um,
It's the
so
young people.
it's the young people, hell
Yeah.
yes, and like myself as well. Like I was raised Protestant. My dad's British and everything. But my partner, Green Thumb, he's Catholic, and I'm now living in a mostly Catholic area.
Mhm.
So it's not something that would hold relationships back. Whereas back in the day, like
It would have.
it would have, like
Yeah.
Catholics and Protestants couldn't have been together. Especially like me being like mixed race as well. That
Yeah.
would have been
What are
epic,
your mixed
bro.
races? What are they?
Um, yeah, so my mom is she's half Irish and Scottish and half Senegambian and Nigerian. So
Okay.
she's like mixed race, so I'm like a step down from her
Yeah.
being, yeah,
I
mixed as well.
as much as I guess silver lining, as much as like kind of some rough stuff is going on in the world, there's a lot of protests like in Moscow and in other places like a peace protest, like, hey, we don't want war. It's like
Mm,
that's cool that there's a lot of people out. And I feel like protesting in like New York City is like easy, like you're not really gonna get like the government's not going to come in and shoot you. But in Russia, maybe there's that chance. I feel like there might be a little chance of that. So they're braver than a lot of. I don't know if I'd have the person just do that without any weapons.
amen. And yeah, I think we should just address and just sort of pay respects, I guess, to the situation that has occurred over the past
Yeah,
24 hours, and just send, you
yeah,
know, absolutely condone any sort of physical violence in order to reach any sort of goal for me personally. Um, and yeah, just all my prayers and positive love and energy going out to everybody that's in any sort of
yeah. Same,
terrible,
exactly.
terrifying situation.
It has people are, but oh no, not to try to make light of the situation or anything, but I feel even if this does escalate a little bit, like it's not going to last forever. It's not going to be
Mm,
like I'd probably last a couple months. I don't think Putin would ever go into any places outside of Ukraine. But the people like Moscow yesterday, the Moscow exchanges, they were down like 50%, like early this morning. And even in like 1929 in the US, when the stock market crashed, they were down like 23% over a couple of days. So it's not as bad as it was like in Moscow. And it
mm,
is creating so like OMI went down to like 0.0031 yesterday or early this morning, up to
hmm
0.0038. So I did buy some. Have you taken any opportunities to take advantage of these markets?
I haven't. It's been a wee while since I've actually bought on me, or I kind of just like keep an eye on the trending or what kind of moves it's making. But no, I'm not. not really in a position to put money into it at this time. But I think it's a really good reminder. Like, we talk BB all day, every day. We talk about what could possibly affect the price, in uh, with this circumstance and with this thing happening, or with Veve as a company making a
Hmm.
decision that's hopefully going to make the price go up. But we really need to be thinking, on a bigger scale about what else in
Yeah,
the world, culturally could affect the price and the way Veve or any company kind of makes its moves, right?
yeah,
Because like we've
but
seen everything, I saw everything was like,
yeah, everything was
you know,
down, and I think in in a way, Vivi could help. I think this is a way that other people. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You most people like James Bond, and most people like Aston Martin, and like this is everything. It doesn't matter where you're from. We could all be like, oh, hey, look, and it doesn't even have to be James Bond. Look at this new collectible. Look at
true,
these fun. So
true.
I think Vivi has a way, and Komi in general has a way of bringing people together, which I really like. Um, and have you seen the new James Bond article? Like how many editions and how many what the price is?
No, hit me
Like,
with it. Hit
oh,
me
all
with it.
right. So I haven't looked for it yet. I just saw it in the comments. It is the largest blind box ever, and I don't mean like there's only
What?
five. So there's only 507 editions because there's going to be two of them, and out of the 507 editions of the first one, and then the blind box for the second one, there's only seven editions, like there were on
Oh,
the like there were on the tickets.
oh my goodness. And
But if
did
you
you see?
remember, the tickets weren't
Go ahead, go
that.
ahead.
Yeah, the tickets weren't that much. Or yeah, so the tickets weren't that much. There's only, or I'm sorry, I messed that up. There's the first one is 2,507 editions. Um,
Still,
yeah, the
that's awful.
2,507 editions. That was $307 for the blind box. Uh, and then the next one, the blind box, there's 507 editions, and it's $1,007. So it is, yeah, $1,007. I'm sorry. And then there's another blind box. It's the same. You don't know which one you're gonna get. This one, it's still $1,007, but there's only seven editions. So this is the car. There's only seven editions of. That is the same blind box as this one, and yeah,
Okay.
so it's the largest price we'd ever had to pay, $1,007.
Ooh,
The
dang.
one, yeah, the one
That
earlier in the day is a lot cheaper, $307 for that one. But
okay, okay.
they
Wow.
they look relatively
Wow.
similar. I mean, this
Well,
one
oh,
built
I
for
will
Ford.
say, did
Yeah,
you see the leak? Did you see the leak of
the
what
car
it
driving.
does? Yes.
I that was
Was
from
that a
a
leak or what was it?
I think it was, but that was from a long time ago. Like I
Oh,
remember seeing that
serious?
like months ago, and then it resurfaced recently, like 2 days ago. And it
Oh,
played like the Bond music too when you spun around. I was like, ah, that, that was insane. Yeah, that was
crazy.
pretty nuts. Now I'm gonna have to sell. Like, I'm probably not going to get it just because it's only 507 of one and seven of the other, so I'm probably not going to get it. But if there's a chance, I mean, at 1,000, like I'm gonna try. So I only have like 90 gems in there, but I'm gonna. I feel like that four-figure price will get some people out. Feel like I don't have gems for this. We'll go that way.
Mm-mm-mm. Definitely, definitely. Like that, having liquidity and holding liquidity seems to be a bit of a challenge in the community. Like if you're selling stuff and sitting
Yeah,
on gems for any amount of time can be difficult because that like temptation. But if you had saved, you would have been able to jump in and go for this. Oh my God, I can't believe
yeah. And
there's that little wow.
I I feel like do you I right now I don't have the gems. I'm gonna have to sell stuff. Are you gonna sell stuff or do you already have the gems for it?
No, dude, I don't, I've never sold anything. I've never flipped anything.
Diamond
I've
hands.
never, I swear, yeah, I that.
Oh
But listen,
wow.
I don't have like a big budget to kind of like
Yeah,
really stack. I have like 40 collectibles over a year. I've kept them all. So
that's
yeah, and
amazing.
I just kind of I like to focus in on like the art sort of stuff. That's definitely my what gets me super excited. Um, and if there's I think that's kind of been my strategy. I've kind of just held until um I see some sort of unique artist piece that I'm really interested in. So
Yeah, no,
mhm.
that's a good point. I'm probably gonna have to go live for that because that's a historic drop. It's the most expensive drop we've ever had. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited. Even if I don't get it, I don't care. Just to be part of that history. Have
Heck yes.
So there were a couple of times on streams where they had a lot of people had bought out like, okay, we're gonna buy out, Catwoman, and then we're gonna buy out, this other, and those things ended on my stream. Have you ever been a part of a stream or like a Twitter space? Like, oh, they're buying all the Captain Americas. Oh, like, have you like what are the most historic streams you've been on?
No. Oh, a stream?
Stream or like spaces where stuff was happening inside the space. Was it the 100 hour space?
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah, probably the yeah, that was yes when True was holding a space and there were David freaking David freaking you jumped in. I think was it Kozik was in as well, but it was just all of these people jumping
Yeah.
in and participating, like, and that's what's really cool about spaces. And um I think that's why I kind of gravitate towards them. It's like the flow, like we're doing now. We're kind of just spitballing, and that's kind of
Yeah.
how I do my streams as well. Um, so spaces kind of has that same energy, and then for people to just pop in, even like I did a space last week, and we had Brock. Oh, nice. We had
Yeah, get
Brock
it, get
in.
it.
Get that
Oh yeah,
bread.
Brock's great.
Yeah, we had Brock in, and then Crypto Crayons just randomly came and joined the space a little bit after. So
That's
that was a good
amazing.
one. So yeah. What
Oh,
about
that's
you? What about you? Would you say it was the that kind of
I mean, the
stream
100 hour one was
sort of
really
style?
special because that's not just an effort of my own where I'm gonna stream for like this. Like that's a combined effort of hundreds and thousands of different people that joined and then made that happen. So I think that one was really special because I was a part of it. It wasn't my own thing. Uh, the other ones were where, yeah, I think the Star Trek ones had been brought out, the Catwoman ones had been bought out, and then I think the Mera or one of the other ones had been bought out, and we watched it go down on stream. Oh, there's only 80 left. Oh, there's only 50 left. Like it was nuts. Um, so those are really fun. And somewhere I need to hire someone to go, and it would be a daunting task because I stream for like hours each day and they would have to watch like one or two streams a day or like a minimum of two streams a day and see like all the historic ones and see all the times where I say really good things and filter out all the crap. That would take a multi-person job and that would take
Yeah.
weeks. That would take like a year. Because
You
I've
do.
been doing this
You
for a
have a
while.
lot of you've been doing this for time, dude. I've got to say that you were one of like I've got a list that I made like last I'd say maybe June of all the people that I watched. There was about I think there was like 20 of you guys. And you and Earth to Mastery and Cal Wilson and Cavell, all you guys were like a group of YouTubers that I learned a lot from. So thank you so much for all your commitment and all your absolute library of videos that you've accumulated over the past year. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's thank you. It's fun. It's a lot of there and I've always figured that people would watch like little clips here and there. But there's a couple of people that have like messaged me screenshots and be like, I love you, man. I watch every one of her videos, and they show me like their YouTube history. And I was like, whoa, they
Yeah,
they watch every single thing I put out. I was like, that's incredible.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, but getting and I like not as big like Cavell or Taps or anything, but the um, idea that you have a lot of people watching what you say and do is like okay, it kind of forces you to be like a better person. So that helps as well. I think that's good.
Mm.
Um,
But I will say one thing that you said the other day on your stream when I was sort of back and forth in the comments about your setup and about the way you do things and the way you help other people to realize, me included, that you don't have to have all the kit, you don't have to have all the cool stuff, you don't have to have all the experience, you don't have to be super techy. Um, yeah, you just have to come on and be your authentic self and just go for it. And if people gravitate towards you, then awesome. And if not, then not. But I think the fact that you have continued with that like frame of mind, it's awesome. Very commendable.
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, I didn't expect to be this big. Not again, it's like 7,500 subscribers, so it's not like a crazy amount, but I didn't think I'd get here. Like I thought, like when I first started, maybe I would get to like 1,000 subscribers in like a few years. Slowly build a couple hundred each year. But not happening in like a year, and then just kept snowballing
Incredible.
from there. I was like, oh
It's nuts.
shit.
It's cra
um,
it's crazy. It's like
what
what has this become?
I know that what are because you said you worked in like mental health field
Mm,
and
yeah,
what
indeed.
so what are your like streaming goals and work goals? Do they ever conflict with one another?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, so when I first uh found Veve and crypto and everything, like it would have been last year in March.
Yeah.
Um, and before that, I worked in the care sector, lots of different sort of. I worked for a caring agency, and through them, they will like place you in lots of different environments. You work there for like so many years, and then you can move to another one. So I definitely focused a lot of my time on gaining experience in all different sort of fields. So I was in like a hostel for homeless families, um, like a, what would you call it? Like a supported living complex for people with challenging behavior and special needs. Um, so and then in the hospital as like a nursing care assistant. So these are all things that are nothing to do with crypto, right? Or tech in any way. But then I also have like a personal hobby of like dance and um performing arts was kind of like my thing growing up, theater kid and all that like um so I really wanted to find some way that I could kind of connect the arts and dance and like my caring experience.
Mhm.
So I found a course in the University of Derby, and it's called Creative Expressive Therapies. So it was kind of using the arts for mental health and well-being and expression and in therapeutic ways. So if you take all of that and then look at crypto and what we're doing, what we're streaming about, it is really nothing that kind of like there's no really, I don't know. I feel like I've gotten some skills from that world and talking to people and being able to connect with people.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I can't really see um how I could integrate my sort of career, my physical career or whatever into this. But
Yeah.
there's definitely aspects like the artistic side of things and obviously the NFT side, um, and getting to talk to artists and everything and hearing about their process. Like that's definitely tying in my creative juices for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
if I can ramp that up, then I'll tie it in a bit more.
Yeah. I like that. I had a few artists on. I had Anthony Francisco, who was creator of Baby Groot and the Dora Milaje. So that was
Ah.
really fun. And then I had this guy on that had worked with Cheech and Chong, and like Cheech and Chong are in NFTs, and I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, man, they're like 70, 80 years old, and they're still like working, they're still busy, they're still getting
Legends.
it. I was like, oh man.
Legends.
And I was like, do they ever like smoke like while they're working? They're like all the time. They're like all the time. They're just I was like, that's so great. They're still living their best life. But
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, I
definitely.
used to dance as well. It was more
Oh,
exotic
no
dancing.
way. Did
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Yeah. It was
Excellent.
I made this very controversial post. I got banned for it on Facebook, which I don't even know. I kind of know why. So it
Okay.
was remember like 2 years ago at the Super Bowl. you had Jennifer Lopez and Shakira do like a pole dancing
Mhm.
routine, and like
Mhm.
everybody got like a lot of people got pissed, and because like, oh, children are watching this show. And I was like, well, they weren't like stripping, they're just dancing. So I made a
Mm.
post like the next day. I was like, I heard a bunch of y'all got really upset about some in shape brown people post pole dancing. So I took I had some pictures from when I was younger, when I was pole dancing. I was like, well, here you go, come fight me. And then I got banned. I got reported so many times. Like, all right, fair
Oh
point.
my
They,
days. Flip's
yeah, it was a few
sake. You
days.
were just showing off your skills and defending the
Yeah.
ladies, dude. That's all that was happening. That's
Oh,
amazing, dude.
it was a
And
good
here, I
time.
will tell you, you need some core strength and balance to do any sort of aerial pole work. Like
Yeah.
it's yeah, some skill definitely required for sure.
Yeah, because if I don't do it for a while and then I go back to it, like the next day, it's like, oh man, my lower abdominals, they're not feeling too good right now. It's like using muscles you haven't in a while. Uh,
Amen. Oh, geez, tell me about it. I haven't danced properly in a long time, and like going from being able to do like a 20-minute dance routine to not
that's a
being able to
lot.
get out of your not being able to get out of your chair without going, oh, do you know it's ridiculous.
But a
Wait,
20
give me two
dance
seconds.
minute routine's a lot. Like that's a long
Yeah,
time.
man. I need to let my cat out. Give me two
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
Oh, come here, Bubble.
She's got a kitty. She's got a little meow meow. That's so great. I love that. I'm gonna ask her for pictures. I
Oh,
was telling our good friends here that are watching us, like she has a kitty, and I was gonna ask for pictures. Do you have pictures of the cat?
oh, my meow meow. I
Yeah,
don't
you're
have
right.
any. My meow meow,
What type of pet owner are
my wee
you?
Bubble.
You don't take pictures.
I I can't get them right now. I'll send you them later and I'll tag you in them. But
Okay.
yeah, that's my wee Bubble. Um, yeah, she's a wee rescue. I got her when I was working down in the hostel.
Wow.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's black
Oh,
cat.
so she was like a stray that came in, and it's
Hmm.
like, you're coming with me.
You're mine now. Yeah,
You seen those
exactly.
TikToks?
Which one?
The ones where it's like, this random person will find like a cup or like some silverware at like a place, and it's like, you're coming home with me. And they just steal them.
Just take it.
Yeah, they just take them.
No, listen, I've had to ban myself from TikTok. I've been off it for a couple of months now. I've lost, dude, so many hours. It's not good. It's not good.
Oh,
Um.
Vivi Las Vegas got some kitties, Smokey and Bandit. They're saying hi.
Oh,
Well, I
Smoky
hope they're
Bandit.
well.
Hi. Hope they're
Um,
good.
so yeah, when did you get into the mental health field, the profession? What caused it? What made you decide to go in?
That's a good question. And we'll go back to the dance one in a bit, but
Yeah.
um, yeah. So I finished performing arts college when I was 18, and took a wee. I actually had like a bit of a health problem, but got over that, and then wanted to go to Camp America. It's like where you can go and be like a camp counselor, and you can like apply to work in a summer camp in America.
No,
Um,
I haven't, but tell me about it.
oh, have you not? Okay, yeah.
No.
I think it's like an international program thing, where you basically apply to this agency. I think it was called Camp Leaders. And you put in your application, say you would love to go to anywhere in America to be a leader basically for the summer. Um, so I did that when I was 18. I didn't have any clue of like what I wanted to do. It was just like a bit of experience. Um, and sent my application off, sent me back a letter asking would I be down to uh work at a camp for adults and kids with like severe special needs and mental health and learning difficulties and all this sort of thing. I was like, I've never worked in that environment before, but if you guys think from my application that I could possibly do it, I'll give it a go and see. Um, so went there, and it was the most life-changing experience of my entire life. It was so terrifying slash incredible slash the hardest job I think I've ever done.
Mhm.
Um, because you're like living on site, you kind of work 24 hours. You're caring for yeah, you're caring
Oh,
for campers. Like they come in big groups, they
oof.
would stay for like 2 weeks, and then you get a whole nother group. This is like 60 campers every like 2 weeks.
Oh my
With
God.
all, yeah, man, with every type of sort of special need or mental health
That
uh, diagnosis that you could think of, every single one came
that's
through the
got to take
doors.
so much mental energy because you
Oh,
have to one like the hat you wear to deal with this person is completely different for the one you have to deal with that person. And then as soon as you maybe get everything down after like 10 to 14 days, boom, they're out the door and you have the whole
yeah,
slew.
yeah.
I would lose my mind. That'd
It
be
was tough, but it was, you know what? It was really challenging, but I'm all about from that experience. I think like taught me that jumping in the deep end and just freaking going for it. Just go and try your hardest. As scary as it is, it could change your life. And
yeah,
me doing that really, like I met hundreds of campers, but there was this one lady in particular that um that I was looking after. It was like a one-to-one situation,
yeah,
and she was in a wheelchair. Her legs, she had scoliosis and like all of these things that sort of
yeah,
restricted her to her wheelchair, right? She lived in a group home. She'd never been in a swimming pool. She hadn't had a shower, like stood in the shower for like 15 years or something because of the place that she lived. Like
yeah.
they give her like bed baths and stuff, but she hadn't like physically been in a shower because the place she lived just didn't have like it was so old and like they couldn't wheel her in and all this, right? So that was like my challenge. I wanted to give her like a spa experience. I wanted to give her like get her in the
Oh,
pool and all of these things that she would never have been able to experience. And we
oh,
took all yeah, man, we took all of these people to the beach. So we took this lady, her name was Patty. Um, we took her to the beach. She'd never been in the sea before. Um, and because I was her camper, like we all took like a bunch of them down to the sea in groups.
yeah.
And because I was like sort of in control of her care, it was up to me whether or not we would like get her in the sea, and it was like a big operation because we you usually need like a hoist and all to lift her and all this stuff. And I was just like, you know what? She might never get this opportunity again, and she's never had it in her life. So let's just freaking go for it.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, like everyone was crying. Like she was in the water and she was like having the time of her life. It was just, yeah, it was a moment I'll never, ever, ever forget. So yeah, from then I came home, and it was like after that, that's kind of what led me down this path of continuing and wanting to try different environments, looking after people
Yeah.
in all sorts of different scenarios. So that was very long-winded, but yeah. So
No, that's a great story. I don't know if I've ever I think it wasn't with people, it was the animals. I used to be a
mm,
veterinarian assistant and some of the best days were at like a few days after like an animal would come in just like on death's door, just sick with a bunch of different things, and then you treat them and you watch them get better. It's like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But but
yes.
but again, nothing like that. It's I guess similar, just in
No,
a
but
different way.
of course, like that's all the feelings are the same, all that sense of achievement, um, coming together with like a group of people trying to achieve a goal. Like you guys are saving lives every freaking day, and I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do that job, Randy, looking after the
Yeah, I had to
animals.
get out.
Oh my
It
goodness,
was
I couldn't.
I after because I was in there for like 9 years in the field, and then I was like,
Wow.
I can't. So I eventually, and I wasn't even in like emergency work. Like in emergency work, it's like half the patients you see are like, not gonna make it.
Mm,
So
mm, mm, mm.
I was, in general practice. So I went to the military and then I did that for a while. and then I got into finance afterwards. Like, and now I'm here.
And here
But
you
what
are.
I am, what would you do? If you make enough money, let's say you become a really big streamer, or if the arts you do like takes off, uh, would you continue to stay in that field? Would you open up like your own mental health facility? What would you do?
Well, I have been an unemployed bum for the past year since
Nice.
Veve and all started like cooked off. Yeah, unemployed bum.
Yeah,
Shout out to all my hobos.
same.
But but um yeah, like my I had to leave my last job, right, because of the vid that kind of
Mhm.
took over in the place that I was working. Um I was working with, again, people with very challenging behavior. And the news of COVID just drove all of them absolutely like bickies. It was the worst news. Like people who have autism, they're very used to routines, and keeping a routine is very important. And the
Yeah.
news of the virus upsetting everything, it just caused so much. Oh, Randy, I can't even get into. Maybe tell the details after, but yeah,
Yeah,
it
no,
was
I
really
can imagine.
challenging, and I'd never dealt with any like physical restraining or anything like that before this job. But this I was there for nearly 2 years, and the coronavirus just made the job. Like I'm a strong dancer woman, but see, looking after fellas that are like your size and bigger and
Oh yeah,
having to
sounds
physically
impossible.
intervene and stuff.
Well,
So yeah, I was like went through a bunch of stuff and it was quite traumatizing. So I left that job for my own mental goodies. Um and haven't really been back since. It kind of gave me the fear of, and like that, it sort of gave me that, like, I don't know if I can go back into
yeah.
that type of field. I think if
Is
I
it
was
like
to
a
go,
fear of failure? Like if I go back and I don't want to go back in for 2 weeks and then I exit out, like do you fear of disappointing people that you're working with?
I think it could be a bit of that, but I know, like, I don't know, personally for me, I think it's called like compassionate fatigue, when
Mhm.
you kind of, and my patience, like I have patience for days, but when it comes to caring and physically caring and this sort of thing, like I've done it for like nearly 10 years. I think my time is, I'm kind of burnt out, I guess,
Yeah,
um
that's
more
that's the
more than anything.
that's around
Mm,
what I did in the animal in the veterinary field. I did for 9 years. You did that for 10. Uh,
yeah.
so
Hmm.
in that case, well, I mean, I say like what's next because you're pretty much on your what's next, doing streaming art and all that. So it's no, your face is like
I don't know. I haven't a freaking clue. Like I'm forever saying this. I still don't know what I'm doing. This is like, it's just all, it's great, but
it could be
I'd
like a
love to.
hair model. Look at the way it
Oh yeah.
bounces. Is there like a lot of product in there, or is it just like that's
There
just natural?
is. No, there is. There's a little bit. I actually washed it last night, so you have to put like a leave-in conditioner. You have curls as well. I could see some. You could use
Every
some
now and
goodies
then
of those
there like
curls.
yeah, like it'll curl a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like notice really until this one girl at the gym. I don't know her name, but it when it started getting longer, and one day there was one strand that was really curly, and she just goes boing, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's like, I had to. I
Yeah.
was like, all right, fair point.
That's
Um,
it.
yeah,
No, definitely. I can see your hair. Your hair's a different, obviously a very different texture to mine, but
yeah,
anybody with a curl, you need moisture. You need like a casting agent that kind of holds the curl in place.
hmm
So yeah, with some goodies. It's a little
yeah.
bit it's drying out a little bit now, but yeah.
I'm getting a. Well, I was supposed to be this year, but then Omi took a dump. I was supposed to get a. I don't know what it's called, that surgery where they take hair from the back and put it on the front because mine's like kind of receding really badly. So
Okay.
I'm trying to
Is
go
that what
and
you'd be interested? I've seen procedures. It
yeah,
looks
yeah,
very successful, like.
yeah. So I'll do
Hmm.
it as many times as needed. Um, so I don't know if it's. I don't think it's from the hair, but Josh, you mentions why do they call you Orange Bag Lady?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Sorry. Yeah, so I'm a fan of Erica Badu. She's a big artist over in the States.
Mhm.
Um, and she has two, excuse me, spitting everywhere. She has two, she has two songs that I love called, one's called Orange Moon and Bag Lady. So I just like,
Okay, all
yeah,
right, that works.
just smush them together. And it was actually like I played PUBG, you know the game
Oh
PUBG
yeah.
on yeah, played that for like 3 years on my phone. That's my name on there.
Oh
Um
okay.
yeah, so that I just kind of like brought it across for whenever all this started like kicking off.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
yeah.
All right, cool.
Mm.
I
But
had a
yeah,
buddy of
to
mine
oh
play
sorry, go
PUBG.
ahead, bud.
Oh no, he used to play PUBG, and it's like, oh, all right, and it looked cool. That was it.
It's a good game. It's a good game. Heck yes. But to your question about streaming and stuff, like I would love to. I like gaming and that sort of thing, and like I don't know if I like watching like gaming streams or like that sort of thing. But I'd be
Yeah,
really interested to like do that when the VV verse comes around eventually. Like I'd be really
yeah.
interested in streaming some of that content. That'd be class.
What's a game that you could stream with now that you know really intimately? Like, oh, Mario, I could play that all day, or like Yoshi's Island or something like that.
Spyro all day, all day.
So,
Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, um, Monster Muppets, Toy Story, that sort of thing.
okay, so I'm familiar with most of those, except for what was it, Toy Muppets? You said
Monster Muppets, so it's like
Monster Muppets.
the
What's
yeah,
Monster Muppets?
it's like Kermit and Miss Piggy and all of them. It's like a Halloween game. It's yeah, it's an old one. It's an
Okay,
old one.
yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't played that. That seems interesting. I've played all the rest of those, and why I
Heck
was
yes.
laughing at the beginning is because it was a few years ago. There's two people that I serve with. This one girl, Kara, and this one guy who we always call Sweet Mate because of like we didn't know his name for a while, so we used to just call him Sweet Mate. And long story.
Head
Um,
stuck.
yeah, yeah, it just sucked. Her dad had died, and like it wasn't like a big deal. She didn't really get along with her dad at all, but she's like, I don't want to deal with my family. You two are coming, and we're like, all right. And she was dating Sweet Mate at the time, and her uncle Frankie proceeds to so I don't know what he's like, some type of gangster or whatever. He hands me and Sweetmate $50 each, and he's like, oh, because you like used to have been with your friends of my niece here, and he's like, I know she can't be easy, and so he gives us $50 each, and then he goes to her brother. I don't know if I can say this. There's gonna be NSFW for like the next 30 seconds. So please
Okay,
click
yep.
away if you're under 18.
Yes, please
Um,
click away if you're under 18.
yeah,
Parental
so
guidance is advised.
and he didn't know this. So it's his nephew, but it's her brother. And he's like,
Uh-huh.
here, take 100, go get your dick sucked. But he's gay. And I
Oh,
was like, oh my so so
oh my God. Is
yeah,
this
and I
all
was like,
ha
so why I was laughing because of the Spyro thing. Me and Susan proceed to get really, 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 really drunk. And then I go away like the bathroom 1 second, and I come back, and he's on his phone. It was a few years ago. He's watching the trailer for the new Spyro game, and then he's like, "Chavez, I want a dragon really, really badly." Like he had like the Batman voice, like the Christian Bale Batman, like, "Do you want
Oh,
to?" So yeah, it's a crazy night.
that
That
sounds
was
like a crazy one.
I was not
That sounds
expecting
like a
that.
crazy one.
Yeah. So, but I love games, as you can tell by the Nintendo
Heck
shirt and the
yes.
Nintendo arm. Um, Toy
I'm a
Story
fan.
is, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it was on N64. Was it like the Buzz Lightyear Toy Story where you're
Oh, I'm talking PlayStation 1 games mostly. So
okay?
I think it would have been like I can't remember the levels, but you start in Andy's room and then you kind of like go down into the living room and it's kind
Yeah,
of a game about the house. You go out into the garage.
yeah.
Yeah.
They remade that for N64, or they made it for N64. It was really good. I never beat it when I was younger, and I went to go try to play it again because I got a N64 like emulator on my phone, but
Oh no.
it kept like glitching, and so I looked up a speed run of it, not even like a let's play. It was a speed run, and it took the dude like 3 hours. I was like, this game's gonna take me forever to beat, so I'm not even gonna try.
That's crazy. Great games though.
But,
Great games.
but
Spyro, like you played, I'm talking about like Spyro the Dragon, like the first, the one. And I
yeah,
speaking of emulators, I did the same. I got an emulator on my laptop and played all of Spyro the Dragon. I got my controller and everything. It
nice.
was oh, it was so good. It was
That's
amazing.
what I did
The
last year.
nostalgia.
Oh, I'll probably hit you right in the face. Like I anywhere anywhere I go, it's like the emo kids. As soon as you hit that key, like dun dun, and and they take like the Black Parade. Dun, dun. Anytime I hear like Pallet Town or any Pokemon music, like I have to stop, and it's yeah. If anyone wanted to like mess with me, they could like in very low. We did this in like ninth grade to this poor substitute teacher, but um, like if anyone wanted to mess with me, they could just plant a bunch of phones around the house, and they could randomly just at a low volume just start playing that. Like, wait a minute, what is that? Um,
Is this in my mind? Am I
yeah,
making this up?
in ninth grade, we had this one guy. We'll call him Bubba. He had a couple of like I guess when phones were like cheap burner phones. He put them around the classroom, and he would call them. And the ringtone that he set was of the adult entertainment type. So he
Oh
would call,
no! Ah, that
yeah,
noise! Oh, I know. Yeah.
this poor sub. She's like,
Oh
what?
my God.
Yeah, I felt so bad. Like it was funny. I was laughing, but it was we're all like 14, 15. It's funny. Um,
As you
did you?
do, as you do when you're, when you're
Yeah.
that age, messing
What
around in
about you?
class, of course.
What was school like for you in like middle school, high school range slash college? I
Oh
guess.
God, oh God. So I didn't really come into my own until um I got to college actually. Like I have friends and all, but like with um uh trying to like fit in, trying to like I'm a bit of like a tomboy, not like a super girly girl, like lots of makeup and all that. But my friends, like when you go through that period of like teenage girls and they're trying to like wear makeup and it's like your first kind of like step into that world. Definitely tried that with my friends. And all of my friends were like super girly, and there was just me, and I had like super long blonde straight hair, and then there's me with my,
Oh,
with my hair, and I was like going through that like existential crisis of I never wore my hair out. I always wore it like really tight and like slick back. I would never ever wear it out because I was
yeah,
just so terrified of like the jip you would get for it. But
yeah,
um yeah, I was like pretty, I don't know, pretty reserved-ish. Definitely loved the performing arts side of school. Like I was all in like music things, like singing and dancing in the shows and everything. So that was like my main sort of focus.
yeah.
But then got to college with a bunch of freaking legends
Nice.
who were all like, I was like a bit of a nerd in school as well. Like I wasn't like cool or smoking around the back or any of that. I was like
Yeah.
such a nerd. I was the one that carried around the report for the class because
Oh,
our class was like, really rowdy. And then I was the one freaking chosen to, yeah, anyway. But got to college with a bunch of really like-minded, weird, theatrical, people, much more diverse. Yeah, my school was really there's not a lot of, even though it was an integrated school, there wasn't a lot of like mixed race or Black African people or Asian people. There wasn't like a lot.
yeah.
But when you got to college, it was much more mixed. It was much more diverse. And like my class, have you seen Glee? I'm sure you have seen Glee.
I know what it is. I've seen a couple episodes, but I
You
haven't
know what
like
you know
watched
what it
them.
is?
Yeah, yeah,
They're so cheesy and they dance in the hall and they That was us. That was my class.
Really?
Yeah, for 2 years. Yeah, like on our lunch break, we would go into the hall and like put music on and be dancing with our sandwiches.
That must have been so much fun.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. Loved it. Um, but yeah, what about you? What was your schooling situation like?
I so I was adopted, and I was adopted by people that I think maybe wanted to do good, but just
Mm,
didn't know how to do that. And
mm, mm, mm.
my own thoughts about what good were like. It's also different because back in parenting, for the most part, over the up until the last 30, 40 years, were relatively the same. Like the technological advances were okay. Now there's radio. There's like one thing you have to. Okay, well now there's like television, and it's not. But suddenly we had the internet, and things
Mm.
just were never the same. And a lot of these parents are like, I don't know how to parent in this age. So it was different, and um we had a big difference in sense of like what was okay and what was not okay, because they
Mm.
were a little more old school, and I was a little more like why like I was definitely a very annoying kid. Um,
No,
but
you weren't. Don't say that. You were not. Just wanted to explore, like what the rest of the freaking people our age was doing at that time. You know.
yeah, yeah, that's true. So there was, I'm trying to think, in high school. Okay, I wanted to box, like, and I wound up getting into boxing eventually. Um,
Excellent. You look like a
but it
boxer right now with your with your thing
with
on.
the I'm coming out with the robe. Like,
Yeah.
um, but it wasn't like it would have been so much easier if my parents had let me do that before, and I wouldn't have to do it in secret, because
Mm.
after a while, it took me getting hit really bad once, where I remember like I never want to get hit like that again. Like a good like to the I was like your leg like and I'm like okay, but your legs just stop working, and like you're like okay, like you're physically there, but it hits like a nerve in there, and you're like it does
Oh.
something to your brain, and your legs just stop. And I remember like all right, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore.
Mm.
um, but yeah, I did a lot of that. I was also, because I was into boxing, I wasn't into like drinking or smoking or doing anything like that. But I love Taco Bell. I love to eat. I still do.
Hell
And me and
yes.
my yeah. So me and my
Foodies all
friends would
round.
go.
Heck yes.
Yeah. We would do is I don't know if you remember Urban Dictionary and what
Yeah,
that.
like the yeah, like what you just look it up online for
Yeah,
like
you just look up any word
certain
online,
words.
and
Yeah.
there's these like disgusting. So me and my
Yeah.
friends would just we would get Taco Bell, and we would just look up these dirty words on Urban Dictionary. And that was pretty much it. There was a big group of us, and we tried to. I was dating this one girl, Brittany. Her best friend Emma was dating this one guy, Robert. He was Italian, so we called him Rocky. And so I'm still friends with them. And that was pretty much it. I did not like school. I played violin, and that was
Oh,
pretty
excellent.
interesting. Yeah. Um,
Did you
and
do
sleeping comp.
grades and stuff, or was it just sleep in? How's
Yeah.
it going, lad?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
did
Sleeping.
did
Grinding.
did you do grades or were you just sort of playing as a for fun when you were playing violin?
It was for school. I started in like sixth grade, and then I was like, I kept with it because there was there's one the girl Brittany that I was telling you about. Her parents were really rich. Her dad was like a lawyer, and he had some type of big lawsuit. There was like a rich place that he was in Long Island, and they had to move to this town like right next to ours, which was not like poor, but it was poor to them. Like it was
In comparison, yeah.
yeah in comparison to where they were. And I went over for dinner one night, and I wasn't out of the room. I was like right there eating dinner. And I guess partially because I was brown, partially because I had like not like great clothes. And they're like, well, she mentioned this boy, Randy, and Randy doesn't sound like a brown Spanish name. It sounds like a white name. It's like, oh, I didn't
That's what
think he would
this
look like
is.
this.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
so they're talking back and forth like one.
Oh,
So I was like, I play violin, like I'll have you know, and they're like,
ah,
so yeah,
bastard.
that was
Oh my
fun.
God, that's so rude though. Kicked him in
Uh,
the, under the table. Freaking
no,
shit.
no. Um, because they had money, I was like, they could probably kill me and get away with it. Like it's
Oh,
probably, uh,
bud, bud,
but
what do you like? But I will. Can I speak to something that you kind of
yeah,
touched on there? That
yeah, sure.
I thank you for sharing that your story and that you were adopted because my mom was also adopted and she uh you know grew up. She was adopted by very similar to you, very traditional
Yeah,
Protestant white um parents, thinking that they were helping and contributing. But yeah, I can imagine that you would have had similar experiences coming from somewhere, you're Peruvian, right?
hmm, yep,
Coming from, somewhere like Peru where everybody looks like similar to you and moving to somewhere where everybody doesn't quite look like you and you kind of stand out a bit more. My mom definitely experienced that. I definitely experienced that for, as light as I am. Um, definitely have experienced similar things to you, dude. So I can empathize definitely on that point. Um, and I think what would have made it much easier from my mom's experience and from our experience, like if the family that we were adopted into would have like encouraged the learning of your culture and like the
yes,
food and the music and the history and the region and all of this. I think there's like a really important need to
yeah,
connect those dots because I like
yeah,
even for me like identity, I don't know, you call it identity crisis or just not feeling like you fit into any sort of space, I guess, or
yeah. Because then
everything.
if that would have happened, I wouldn't have been like curious, and I like because if you don't really know where to go if nobody ever exposed it to you, so you could go up, some random places. You ever? There's this one Tifu. Like, you ever go on Reddit?
Rarely,
All
rarely.
right, so there's one Tifu called "Today I Fudged Up," and it's about this guy, him and his wife. They wanted to, they couldn't have kids, so they were going to adopt, and they from this agency international, they're getting this baby from Japan, and it was a boy. They named him like Kevin, like whatever, and
Mm,
um, but they kept all of his like original paperwork in like a safe, and in case he was ever interested. But um, they had taught him like all like Japanese stuff and like all like the major holidays like Golden Week and White Day and all that. And then at like 12 or 13, he was just like, let's go. Can we go there? Can we like look for like my family? And I was like, well, we can go there, and like I don't know if we can look for your like we'll dig up your
mm,
old birth certificate, we'll dig up your old whatever, and we'll go there, and we'll just see what happens. And
mm,
the name, I don't know how they didn't realize this like 30 years ago, but the name was like something like weird first name, and the last name was Kim. And I recognize that from Gilmore Girls, but that's a notorious like Korean name. And it happened to
mm.
be they were Koreans in Japan. Like, they were from North Korea and they had escaped, and so the kid was actually
Wow.
Korean and not Japanese, and they had
Wow.
raised him as a Japanese kid, and
Oh my God.
so that's where the today I fucked up was.
Dang. Oh, they done it so right and then tripped right at the last
Yeah, they
hurdle.
were.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was like, oh wow, that's major fail on that part. But I thought that was like
It's not
I read
funny, but it's funny.
I read that. I was like, that's the funniest thing ever. I don't know if your
Oh
mom
my
ever did
goodness.
this or if she knew her parents, but I made this. It started in like the 90s or like early 2000s, where I read this article in the paper where these science I guess because some people, the list to be on the organ donor list was like so long, some people didn't, they weren't able to make it. And it's illegal to sell human organs,
Mm,
but it's not illegal to sell animal organs. So what these scientists were doing is that they were injecting some of these pig fetuses with like human DNA somehow, and
right.
because pigs are like relatively
Mm-hmm.
close to us in
Yeah, yeah.
DNA, and
Mm-hmm.
when that pig fetus would like get older, those organs would be compatible, and the DNA would splice with humans.
Mm.
So I had this crazy idea because I didn't know like my family back in Peru. I was like, okay, well, what if? All right, let's take a look at this and say like aliens. What if we are the aliens to pigs? So what if aliens came down to Earth and they wanted to experiment, the
Mm.
organ harvesting or whatever, and they're going to want to go to a place where people aren't going to be missed. So like Peru, like it's a third world country, no one's going to really question if some random lady or someone disappears or a person disappears. It's like, okay, so maybe they go in there and they inject alien DNA into pregnant mothers the same way that we do to like pig fetuses. But I had like, so I don't have a sense of smell. Like I was born without a sense of smell, and I have like I have really small calves. So part of the reason I could do pole dancing is because like there's no weight like beneath my waist. It's just all upper body.
Okay.
Um, so I was like,
I'm
what?
so sorry. That was funny.
No,
I
it's
have
all
no
good.
sense of smell and really small calves. What are you like?
my
Go, go, go.
my friend Jackson, who I work out with, he's getting me a shirt called Team No Calves because my calves are. Yeah.
Alrighty, what do you like? I'm
So
sorry.
so I thought like, okay, what if like aliens? It's like, well, why didn't they take me? It's because they messed up. Like they try to do different things, and I relatively decent intelligence. I have very good hearing and very good eyesight up until I started boxing, and then like my eyes kind of didn't do that well. And then from working around aircraft for 4 years in the Air Force, my hearing
Mm,
went all. But I am pretty good at figuring out certain things, the pattern recognition. But maybe because they lost my sense of smell and they forgot like my calves, like it just messed up. And it's like it's not worth it. He's not worth it to bring with us. So they left me there in Peru, and then I won the lottery because I got adopted into like America. And it was this whole crazy thing that I was thinking of when I was younger. But then as I got older, I realized, okay, there are like Fermi paradox. So there are aliens out there. Like, where are they? They probably they could have done something like that. They could be here, but I'm sure they could disguise themselves. So I still think that theory is definitely possible. What
mm.
is your take on aliens?
Okay. My take on aliens. I 100% agree that we are not the only intelligent beings. Um, there's no chance. It's too big. It's way too big. Um, I love rabbit hole conversations. I love conspiracy conversations. I love all of that, but I don't know if I'm ready to out myself. I don't know if I'm ready to out myself on the stream about it. So I might talk to you about it like in detail afterwards.
I
But
mean, now's the place to do
um,
it. Like it's
I
we're an
can't out
hour in,
myself.
and
I
there's
can't
only
out
47
myself on
people
the
here.
stream. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't.
Okay, okay,
I can't. But
okay.
okay. Actually, you know what? Check it. Um, there's theories about like subterranean um
Underground.
communities underground, right? So if
Yeah, they're in New York City.
uh,
There is one in New York City. They're homeless people, but they live underground. Yeah.
oh no, I mean like out in the mountains, like in somewhere like Peru or
Okay.
like the Andes or something, there's like these entrances, right? To caves that go down into the earth, and there's like apparently entities or some sort of creature. Like I could see that quicker than I can see aliens coming from the skies and like coming down. If there's any weird stuff here, I feel like it's or at like the bottom of the ocean.
Mhm.
Um, like I feel like there's weird alien creatures already here, like on the surface or under the surface, or you know,
Yes.
um, for sure. And I yeah, I don't know. I'll talk to you about it after.
Okay, so I
I'll
mean,
go in all the after about it.
there's a lot that goes into that. There's
Mm.
I don't know if he was part of the army or part of the Air Force. There's one guy, Colonel Byrd, who was flying missions in the Arctic.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
know if it was so you know who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And he gets some I guess he gets too close to the North Pole. And again, you might know the story better, but the magnets of the poles mess up his navigation and he gets lost. And then there's another aircraft that kind of or two other aircraft and they go like lead him in and I don't know where exactly
I
they
know.
were over the North Pole in like Russia or in like Greenland or whatever. But there's people there, and I guess they fueled him up or they fixed it, whatever, and he gets back and they can never find it again. Like they had, it's like
Mm.
Wakanda. Like they couldn't find
Mhm.
it. Yeah, like you
Oh
couldn't
my
find it
God, can
unless
you
you moved
imagine? Or
away.
like Atlantis or something. God, can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Um, but there's also the U.S. has a base in Antarctica. Like there's on the other, like not the North Pole, the South Pole. Like
Mm-hmm.
and so it's on the so it's weird that they're both at the poles, but there's a bunch of other countries there as well, and because no one country can own Antarctica, but on our part,
They've all signed a treaty, haven't they?
yeah,
To agree.
it's like the moon, like you can't own the moon, but there's
Mm.
no one saying that you
Mm-hmm.
can't have a base up there. So everyone's got a bunch of bases down there, and U.S. has one, and I guess ours is on like the edge, like a bunch of over there, and ours is on like an edge, and there is a rule that there's a perimeter with like security forces around it, and you can't go past there. And
Mm-hmm.
the rule that they gave, the reasons why, it makes sense, but almost a little too much sense.
Okay,
Saying
go
that
for it.
back in like the 80s or whatever, there were a couple of people that went to the that decided to explore. They're like, all right, here's like the gate, here's like whatever, don't go past there. But they did, and they never came back. And most likely it was just like it was a whiteout, got caught in a blizzard, whatever. But there's a chance that because they never found the bodies, that something might have taken them, and something might have like there might be something down there.
Mm.
Um,
Like why are you not letting us go check it out? Why?
yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking.
Why? And also, why, when all the countries in the world can't agree on anything, really, but everyone can agree on the Antarctic Treaty and they're all
Yeah,
in on it?
that makes sense. That makes too much sense. That
You
they're
know?
that poetic sense. Yeah.
Mm, indeed.
Uh,
But yes, we'll go in I'll tell you my theory afterwards.
okay. All right. Sounds good. Um. All right. So that's as far as the world in which we live.
Mm,
There is whenever I take a trip with my friend Lucy, or I eat what Mario eats, but mostly it's
hmm
with trip with my friend Lucy. I cannot help but think that because of the way that like there's rules, like there's you can break like the laws of like the road and the laws that like society sets up, but you can't break the laws of physics. And they're a series of beautiful mathematical equations almost like it's coded into the fabric of our society, like the way we
mm,
code games, like the way we code The Sims and Second Life and metaverses, something that you can't break. I think that we're probably in a simulation. Like this is a simulation theory, and I don't know like where it stops. Like just if we're in a simulation, does that mean the people that created us are they the real people or are they in a simulation also? Because we're about to create Web3. We're about to go on and make our own metaverses, and we could we could go
yeah,
we could
like
go in.
simulation within a simulation,
Yeah.
within a
What are your
simulation.
what are your thoughts
Inception
on
ship.
that? Am I getting too
No,
crazy or are
man.
you just like
Hell no. Hell no. These are the conversations that I feel like this is why I was excited about this uh, stream today, because I feel like we're on similar
yes.
frequencies.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think no doubt, right, that Fibonacci spiral and sequence and um, what has created, like the symmetry and um, it's just such a big question. Like, and I agree when one dabbles with the potions of Mother Nature, she's able to show us all sorts of different things that you're not able to see without her we we push.
Yeah.
And for me, I really don't believe that those substances, those plants, barks, um, things that grow naturally in the world, I don't think that they would be here unless they, and again, not in an abusive way, in a very spiritual and enlightening kind of way,
Yeah.
to show you and like open up these questions and to show you things like symmetry that, like you say, can be created in like code and that sort of thing. But the idea of nature creating that such precision and symmetry, like that nature has created the eye for, every mammal, whatever animal, but they're all different. They all have the same function. Like the eye, just your eyes, it freaks me out a wee bit thinking about it, like, and how that intricacy can be created. Yeah, I don't know. There's no big bang for me anyway. There's no big explosion creating an
Yeah.
eye, and that being just like one tiny aspect of it.
There's
It's
a
it's it's too perfect.
there's a which the two there's a video called Doodling in Math Class, Spirals, Fibonacci, and Being a Plant. There's three videos, but the second video is like the craziest thing. And they
Mm.
go over like pine cones. And everything that plants do is all
Yes.
math and it's all perfect. And it's now I get it, like hundreds of millions of years of evolution, yeah, but it's such a perfect way in which they evolve and to get the max amount of sunlight possible. It's really cool. And I think there was I forget the guy's name. He specialized in fungi. He they put on they took a map of like Japan and said, okay, well here's like Kyoto, here's
I
like the
know what
major.
you mean.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so for those of you
I
that
know what
don't,
you're talking about. It's this,
yeah,
isn't it? The
I
slime?
love
The
you so much.
slime? Yes!
Yeah,
Go for
yeah,
it. Tell them. Tell the people. Tell the
yeah.
people.
So they took a map of Japan and they like drew it out and like all of the major cities in Japan and they put on like little like pieces of like syrup there, and those counted as nodes like for the fungi, like nutrition for the fungi. And eventually, after like 2 days, the fungi mapped out the most efficient ways to get from one nutrient dense place to another, which are the big cities, and the subway, and that was a better subway system if they were to make that than what Japan had created. And I was like, oh my god! And that was in two
Do you
days.
know
Like
what I
that's
mean? Like uh, that's
intelligence.
just, and fungi, dude. Fungi and mushrooms that's a whole nother category of amazingness. They're so intelligent, like you say, in their own way, and like the way they reproduce and are self-sufficient, and yeah, it's just the ecosystem in which we live with all of the little tiny intricate things that are like, you think they're so insignificant, like you would think that slime mold, can't do anything, but it's able to produce, like you say, the most efficient um map
Yeah.
basically for humans to copy. Like it's nuts. That's nuts.
Nature's so crazy sometimes. Like there was one animal, it was like on Animal Planet or Discovery Channel, where I learned that when giraffes start to like migrate and eat some of the leaves, like on top, like the leaves that they're eating, as they're getting eaten, they send signals to other trees and other leaves nearby so that they make themselves taste bitter so that they won't get eaten. I was like, what? There's no way.
What?
There's that you can't tell me that
What?
that's happening. But then they're like, oh yeah, based on this, this, and this, and I was like, oh my god, that's
Oh, come
insane.
on, like
Yeah,
so impressive. And it's just such little minute things, and you're like, there's no way a plant could like decide to do that. The plant is saying it's reacting to
yeah, it's
something
like an
that's happening
instinct.
in its environment. Yeah,
Oh
it's insane. Can I be super unprofessional and run to the toilet?
yeah, go
I'll
go
be
go
I'll,
go. You've
I'll be
had a
two
lot of
seconds.
tea. So go.
I have, dude, 20 ounces of tea. I drank it all.
Damn, Daniel, I did again with the 20 ounces. Okay, all right, go go.
Give
I'll
me two
keep
seconds.
everyone here
Oh,
entertained. All right, brother Dead Air. I was receiving my hydration via my shaker bottle, but the shaker bottle is done. So I might might get some muscle milk going. I'm not 100% sure yet. We got a little drips. You know when cats do that, lick themselves, and the cats are so cool, man. How they clean themselves. I'm gonna get some comments over here. What we got? Can't wait. Howdy, 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 everybody. All the best to our brothers in Ukraine. Gator King, why thank you, Joey Reclejo. I love you. Comments and zeros is Randizzle time. What's going on, guys? Beautiful thumbnail. I know, right? Like that hair. I wish I could. Oh my god, what I would do to get that hair is on speaker. Like I would love that. That might be hard to manage every now and then, but oh, so beautiful. Meow 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 meow. Hi guys. And we agree to call our VV anniversary birthday our VV versary. It's yeah, that makes sense. What's up, All Chat Gaming? Robes getting even more popular. What's up, Tyler? Tyler, I hope you had. How's your chest feeling? You did some push-ups yesterday. What's up, Humble? Nice hair. I know, right? Maxwell Cook. I cannot show that comment. Yeah, the amounts for the drop tomorrow is absolutely insane. Now I'm gonna sell something so I can get it, and it's not even for tomorrow. That's for Saturday. What's up, Mr. Pags? How's it going? I know you intend to come. Mr. Pags, are you? When was the last time you did some PT, Mr. Pags? I am not 100% sure, but we'll hang out this weekend. I'll be at Danielle's. We can go and chat this weekend. Oh my God, it's a big hi. There's a little teeny tiny kitty. Hi kitty. Oh my God, that was great. An Irish. I thought you. So I was thinking about if someone gives me a great offer, maybe I might. I'm not 100% sure though. Should I buy our way? I don't know, Justin. Okay, so since you've been gone, I've just been getting up with some comments.
yes, I'm sorry. We have absolutely ignored the comments. I'm so
Oh
sorry,
no, it's
guys.
all good. It was mostly about the James Bond article and about your hair and how they love it.
Oh,
So so that was fun. Um, when there, I forget where I was watching this, but maybe you can tell me if this is like a oh that kind of makes sense type of theory or like that's dumb. Like
hit me,
there
hit
was
me, hit me.
okay, so it was about there's an article about this guy. He was some type of like engineer or whatever, and his brother happened to have schizophrenia.
Okay.
And he made the comparison to schizophrenia with radio waves, saying that if you're in your car and you're tuned into like Z100, you know, you're listening to Z100. That's the radio waves you're choosing to listen to. Everyone in the cars around it is, but that doesn't mean that all the other radio waves aren't there. All the
Mm,
other radio waves for all the other radio stations are still there, just not tuned into them. Is that is like maybe that could be similar to people that are like schizophrenic, that they see things that aren't there. They see these hallucinations, and uh, are some of those things still there, but we just can't see them? Like, do you think like like they're seeing an alternate reality? Like they're seeing, oh, here's an alternate reality where the
hmm.
dinosaurs weren't extinct, or when this person lived, and is that possible, or is that just in their own
Yeah,
mind?
I definitely think it's a great question. Again, it's a big question. I think that on one side, like energy and I don't want to say ghostly presence or like that interdimensional sort of connection. Um, I have no doubt in my mind that there's some people in this world that we're in that can tune in to those things, and maybe like in the West especially, we have when it comes to the medical field, they're so scientific and like wouldn't, and I feel in the East would consider um nature much more and spirituality much more in connection to health. But in the West, I think it's very like chemical based, man-made based solutions, like um very finite solutions. Um, so I think I don't know if it's something that would be talked about so much in the West, but
Yeah.
I've worked with someone. I said to someone, said to you that I worked with someone who had schizophrenia, and everybody's experience of it very similarly to autism. Everybody's is different. So I think there's that um, common thought that you would hear voices and you would see things and that sort of like that can be quite common, but um a lot of the time it can be like that your own self, like your own inner voice, and not being able to kind of control those thoughts, and they almost become external, but they are yourself. You know,
Yeah.
like that inner voice that you would kind of have. Um, but then that inner voice, you don't have as much control or recognition that it's yourself. Kind
Yeah.
of get that dissociative thing happening. Um, but yeah, I think I don't know. I think there's probably it's going to be hard to differentiate between people who have that sort of experience and people who could definitely be interacting and seeing and have that like gift or that like uh yeah, it's like in like an indigo child almost, like a yeah, somebody who is connected more closely to the spiritual dimensional realm but can't verbalize, you know,
What they
in
think.
our way. Yeah,
Yeah.
so to us what they are saying is like completely irrational, and but to them it's very normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be. I think it can be.
Okay. That was
Mm.
interesting because I thought like, well, if they can see it, is there a way for us to tap into that? Like, is there a way for us to see what they're saying? And
Mm.
I don't know if, like I said, that was just the way their brain is wired, or if it's just that's just the not. I don't want to mean like the occult, but any type of thing like where it's something like that, or spirits, or ghosts, or something like. And I feel like kids are notorious for this, that they see stuff like, oh yeah, I was playing with the lady in the closet, like what, like and they see stuff that we just don't. Um, I don't know why that happens. I don't know why kids are just
Yeah,
so innocent
it's
and pure.
scary. It is. I think it is. I think uh, I've definitely heard that theory of children being able to, and that there's no fear as well. There's not a lot of fear that's connected, but I find as you get older, and you go through those like developmental stages, you start to learn fear and anxiety and worry and all of this sort of thing. So, um, and you're always questioning more as you get older. So I think maybe that's why children are like much more, I don't know, open, I guess, to
Yeah,
that
that
sort of
makes
thing.
sense. In America, depending on where you go, there's lots of different lores. Like in West Virginia, they have like the Mothman. In New Jersey, they have like New Jersey Devil. Florida, they have Florida Man. What
Oh,
is
really?
Well, it's yes and no. Like in Florida, the way their laws are, the criminal records like aren't sealed, so you can look at every crazy type of crime that's like committed. Like Florida
What?
Man, like robs is runs naked throughout a grocery store, and like knocks over old people, like the crazy stuff that people on drugs do. Um,
Yeah.
so that it's not it happens, but it's not just one specific person. It's a lot of people.
Mm,
What's like the lore like in Northern Ireland? Are there like fairies? Are like good people? Is there like your version of Bigfoot?
mm. I think growing up, fairies is definitely something that was prevalent. Like my mum would have taken my best friend and I have very distinct memory of us growing up. It's like it was called the Fairy Glen. It's just like It's uphill. It's like a forest enclosed, like a little path, a little stream. It's very picturesque,
Mhm.
sort of Irish forest. Um, and yeah, my mom took me and my friend up, and she convinced us. We were like 8 or something, but she was like, "Oh my God, there's a fairy! Oh my God, look, look, look! You missed it! You just missed it!" We were all like, "Oh, no freaking way! You're joking me, mom! You're joking." But I don't know if she was like, telling the truth. But we were absolutely like certain that this was a thing. But you will have like Irish grannies will like leave biscuits outside, and like there's all these like little things that they do to encourage these fairies to come to their house. And um yeah, it is definitely like folklore.
Yeah.
Obviously you got leprechauns and all that sort of thing. And they, I think, would be in the same realm as the fairies and like the little elves and all of that sort of thing. Um, so yeah, I'd have to look into it, like Irish lore, but there's definitely, I don't know if there's like witches and that sort of thing, but yeah, it's more like small creatures.
Yeah. I've read this one story where this one kid who was he was older when he wrote it, but it's like yeah, like 20 years ago in like the 80s or 90s or whatever. So when I read it, obviously like 10 years ago, because the 90s are now 30 years ago.
Oh
Um,
my God!
I know.
Ow, my head. Oh shit. That was how shocking that was.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, good. So he's like, yeah, when him and his friend, and so it happened to be in like the 90s, I guess, before like internet and cell phones, whatever. So he goes and him and his friends that I forget they're somewhere in that European like Norway, Ireland, wherever. And he says there is him and his friends. He goes to like his friend's grandma's like cabin, and they're like, we'll go play for be back in like an hour or two. We're gonna have lunch. Like, all right. So they go out into like the woods, and they weren't like it wasn't like a thick like Fangorn forest, but there was like a road a few miles ahead, and and they were like, let's go to the road, let's see where it is, let's see if there's any like creeks or lakes, whatever. They're just exploring, and they find like another cabin, like a little like house in the woods. Like, oh, I wonder if anyone's there. Let's see if there's any kids, and they'll come out and play. Um, and then they like knock on the door, but like no one's there. But as they're like knocking again, like the door is slightly ajar, and it opens in. So like, oh, this is interesting. Like let's go in. Like, they're being
Oh my
mischievous kids. Like they're not thinking scary things. They're just thinking
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
this is cool. Um, so there was like furniture in there. So like there was couches, like a coffee table. Um, and one of the kid goes upstairs, like, come on, let's play hide and seek. And like, oh, okay. So this one kid hides in they couldn't find him for a while, but he hid in the closet. And eventually they found him. Um, they realize they're having so much fun. They're like, all right, uh let's go head back and tell them about this place. And they said they maybe have been gone for maybe like a half hour. Like they weren't going back for lunch. They were just going back to tell them about this place.
Mm.
And then there's like a mini search party with the kid's mom and the grandma and everyone. And like, what's that? Because it got really dark. So I think that they were thinking like, oh, is it about the storm or whatever, while we were inside. But it
Mm.
was like nighttime now. It's like, listen, you guys have been gone for like 8 hours. And like, what?
What?
Like we were gone for like 30 minutes and like no, you were gone for 8 hours. It's nighttime, we couldn't find you. And like, where were you? Like, well, we're in this house. And then like what house? Like, come on, like we'll show you. And they couldn't find the house again. And like I
No way.
yeah. And the dude's like, I've looked at he's tried going back again and like still can't find the house.
What? So
Yeah,
they've gone into like an alternate dimension and had been
something like that.
gone.
uh
What? That's some Stranger Things
yeah.
kind
Dude,
of
I can't
stuff.
wait. Season 4.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Do
It's
you
gonna
know
be
when that comes
so
out?
good. No, I saw adverts. I've seen adverts.
Yeah,
I'm so pumped. I feel like watching the entire lot again. Yeah, it's
I probably
great.
should too.
Great
It's so
series.
good.
Yeah, it's epic. It's epic.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's that's something that's got some rewatch value. It's very bingeable also. You can binge
Mm,
that pretty easily.
mm-hmm. Yep.
What would have been some of your favorite things to binge so far this past couple years?
Oh, I'm terrible. I will tell you that's something I'm terrible at binging because I will binge. Like I watched, oh my God, past couple of years. This is a random one. I remember, Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
I watched all of his. I can't even remember the series now. Oh, what's it called?
No reservations.
Oh, No Reservations.
Yeah.
Watched the entire lot of that. Love cooking shows and that sort of thing. Love the Food Network. Guy
Oh,
Fieri, he's my favorite.
there's some cooking channels on like Instagram and TikTok, and it
Mm.
looks so
Oh,
good. Like I'm jealous of
I
these
wish.
people that they just can throw in stuff. Like I used to live with a chef, and he just randomly is like, oh, put some oil in here, put some bread on there, some shrimp on there, and he just makes in like 6 seconds make like this awesome little mini shrimp sandwich. It's like that looks great. I wouldn't think to do that. Um, but yeah, it's
No, I
I
agree.
I remember in 2018, me and my friend Brandon were in Vegas, and it was like 3 in the morning at this point. I was in, he was in like a club still. I was in like the poker room, and somebody gets the tweet. They get the notification that Anthony Bourdain has died,
Mm.
and then so I remember exactly when that happened. I was like, oh man, this was a bad day. Then someone
Mm.
screams out like, "This is worse than when Harambe died," and some comedic thing. But yeah, I remember that. Um,
Yeah, it was really sad. It was awful. Awful.
is there
Yeah.
like a book of like his favorite places, or is there like amounts like where he
I
loves to go?
think there I think there is. There's got to be like an autobiography of or like a diary of his favorite places like throughout the world that he's eaten.
Yeah,
Um yeah, it's gotta be.
I would
Um
I would love to do that. Like
oh
just
that is go ahead. Say
oh,
it.
just like in that Scooby Doo on Zombie Island movie where Shaggy and Scooby are in they're in like contraband, and they take all like the cheese, and they take all like the stuff that could be foot and mouth disease, and like, yeah, we've traveled the world on our stomachs. I would love to do that. Just go and just try food.
Oh my God, that's my dream to just like go around all the countries, not spend any money on, clothes or fancy stuff, just food. Just food. Try as many different things from that cuisine as possible. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
What's is you like Mexican? Do you like Italian? Like sushi? Like Japanese? What's
Oh,
your
well, I listen, I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate when it comes to food, especially um, I don't discriminate in general, but especially when it comes to food. Um, I love to cook. I love cooking, and I'm very easily influenced. So if I like I love watching like food videos and stuff. And if I see anything that really catches my eye, I'll be like, I need to make that. Now I'm going down to the kitchen right now and attempting to make this shit. But no, love cooking, love eating.
same?
And that was a great series to binge for sure.
Oh, I love. There's I don't know what they're called. I think they're called like the Butchers or like Meat Lovers, something on YouTube, and it's about these two guys, and they're not even cooking the food. All they're doing is cutting the meat. And I was like, this is a 45-minute episode about them just cutting meat. Like, there's no way this can be good. And I was like, this looks amazing. Like, just the way that they do it, like the butchers that I was like,
Mm,
it's so cool.
mm,
Um,
such a talent. Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
I've never been good at cooking, but my girlfriend Danielle is amazing at cooking, and oh God,
Excellent. Lucky
yeah,
you. Lucky
yeah.
you.
What about your partner? Are they good cooks?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
He would eat cereal if he could, and I will not let him. And he loves to cook a good steak. Like if he's
okay.
cooking, it's steak night. Um, or like spaghetti bolognese or something. He's got like a couple.
Yeah.
that he can whip up. But no, he's not a fan. Not a fan of cooking at all.
So I mean, I
I
love
I
steak,
mm,
but
heck yes.
what's wrong with cereal? Cereal's great.
Cereal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 4 days a week is not okay.
Oh, okay,
So,
that's fair. I thought you meant like for breakfast or like
do you know
every
what I
once
mean?
in a while. Okay.
Oh no, no, for like he'll freaking substitute his meals. No, I'm like that is not allowed. No, no, real food only. So
Is
yeah,
there a food that you never get tired of?
oh, pasta,
Yeah.
pasta. See a good bowl of creamy, garlicky, mushroomy, herby
Oh, talk
pasta.
dirty to me.
Dude, it just cannot be topped with like I don't know. I don't really drink or anything, so I don't like pair with wines and all that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
But
You don't drink
um,
anything or just wine?
no, I don't. Well, I don't. I smoke green cigarettes instead, um, but yeah, I will. I'll be drinking. I'm a very occasional drinker. If it's a party or if it's like a VV meetup or if it's something,
Yeah.
like an occasion, I'll definitely get wrecked. I'll definitely have a drink and get wrecked for sure. For sure.
Dude, I can't wait to go to Europe again. It's been a few years.
Ah!
Um, yeah,
Are you
I've been
coming?
all over Europe. I haven't been to Northern Ireland. Like where was I? I think I was just in what's the not the capital. What's the um but
Dublin?
yeah, Dublin.
Down
That's where
down south? Yeah, down south.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's where I flew into, and I just took like a tour around there. There's like a horse and buggy tour that I
Oh
went on,
yeah.
and that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But how far away are you from Dublin?
I'm about an hour and a half's drive.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay, that's not bad.
it's yeah, it's pretty close.
All right, next time
Um,
I go, meet up.
heck, oh my gosh,
Well, I think
dude,
next time I
don't
go, it's probably
even.
going to be a big VV meetup anyway. Just
Are you gonna come to the decon in September?
is that a thing that VV's going to?
I'm trying to twist Alex's arm into doing so
Yeah. All right.
because I'm like, you need to get your butt over here. It was meant to be in April. I said to him about it then. He was like, it's too soon, it's too soon. But now it's
Yeah.
been moved back to September. I'm
Okay.
like, you've got lots of time.
Yeah. Oh, I
Come
could dig it.
on.
I would
So,
say, well, it depends where OMI is at that point. I mean,
mm,
if we're in like crypto winter, but I have not had a good month. Like OMI has, let me see what the,
yeah, go
it's
for
like
it.
it's
Give
0.38,
us a stat.
so it's
Okay.
not or it was point 0.0038. So let me just make sure here real quick. I'll go on the BitForex
Go for it.
and do a little refresh.
Yeah,
X out.
we should probably talk about Veve a little bit. I'm like, oh man, because we have done a lot of talking, but not much about our topics,
All right, it's 3.9. So
which
if
is
I
all good.
do 130 times 0.0039. Oh, okay, it's still not bad. So I haven't lost as much money as when it was 0.0031, but I've lost about $500,000 this last month. So it's been not a good not a good time for me to try to do stuff. But
Yeah,
as it goes
fair,
up, as it
fair.
all right. So a lot of people, and I do a daily video and I do a stream every night, and basically what I think, not that I'm trying to make light of it or I'm not trying to just brush it off, but
Hmm.
I this happened in 2014 where where Putin he annexed Crimea. This time I feel
Mm,
like maybe he'll just annex like Lugansk, Donetsk, and I went over it last night, just a lot of Eastern Ukraine.
yeah.
I don't I mean to try to annex all of Ukraine would just be insane, but President Joe Biden has said we will not fight you in Ukraine. They're not even trained. They didn't even train any of the Ukraine troops at all
Mm,
leading up to this. But it says if you go for any like the Baltic states, like if you go for anything else outside of Ukraine, it's on. And I'm thankful that Biden
mm,
did that because if he were to have U.S. troops in Ukraine, and he won't even try to let them evacuate other Americans there. If there were a fight between Russian soldiers and U.S. soldiers, then it would be on. So I'm
Mm-mm-mm.
thankful that Biden decided to take the route in which he did. So this way, it kind of contains it to only Ukraine.
Mm.
There, Putin is probably. I don't want. I feel like evil's meant for like the philosophers, but like for them to decide. But
Mm.
Putin is not. You have to give the devil their due. Very
Mm.
smart, and whether he uses that is obviously for nefarious purposes, but I feel like he's smart enough to know that, hey, I can only push this so far. So I
Mm.
think in a few months this will be over. I think hopefully in a few weeks this will be over, but in a few months he'll just annex part of Ukraine, however much of it I'm not sure, and then it'll be over. We'll have the Minsk agreements part three. So like I said, I'm not worried. That's why I bought more OMI yesterday. I'll buy more OMI if it goes down more.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, I think everybody is rocked right now. I think the all of the markets, crypto, like the traditional stock market, is also affected. Is that right? I believe
yeah,
big
everything is
time.
down.
Everything is down, right? So, and that comes with this fear and doubt, and like we say, but it's literal, like the unknowing of what is gonna transpire over the next couple of weeks throws everything up into the air. Um, and you kind of see what floats and what doesn't. But um, yeah, everything in the world, economically, company wise, corporate wise, banking wise, it's all connected. So if one domino falls, then other dominoes will ultimately be affected.
Yeah,
And I really hope that, see, I don't know. I feel like there's powers, right? There's powers at the top of the world that are like above government,
yeah,
above the media that we consume, BBC, NBC,
yeah.
CNN, all of that. There's a level above that where people are making decisions and financial
And telling them what
business
to report on.
decisions, and yeah, right. So so obviously your due diligence is always important when it comes to, for this is my perspective anyway, when it comes to research in general. You've got to really question and come to your own conclusion about things.
Mhm.
um so the popular mainstream media is only going to share so much with us, as citizens and people who are on this side of the coin, versus what is going on behind the curtain that we will never ever know. We'll never find out. We'll never know the deals that were done. We'll never know it's the saying, you don't know how the sausage is made,
Yeah.
um, sort of thing. So
And that's
yeah,
why I
there's
like
there's
Twitter and TikTok and these independent places
hmm
because I don't think the news had reported on the anti-war protests in Russia, in Moscow, and like I don't think they've reported on that at all, but Twitter has. Like
probably not.
that's good.
Probably not.
Um, yeah, obviously media is controlled by vested interest groups, but I always tell people to look at what other bigger people with money are doing. Like Elon Musk isn't selling his Bitcoin. Like Michael Saylor's not selling his Bitcoin. Even our own Jeremy Padower, our Uncle Jeremy, he had
Yeah,
posted a tweet out.
Uncle Jay saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you that haven't seen it, it says here's a list of things that I've done and doing in terms of my stocks, real estate, crypto, and physical collectibles investments during this extremely uncertain, turbulent, and scary time. Nothing. He's not selling, he's not panicking. He knows that everything will bounce back up. If anything, he's probably adding, but that's speculation. I don't know if he's adding anything right now.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say so. I think that the way um the way the markets work, the way the world economically, like financially, all these big players, all these big string pullers, I'd like to call them, they have their agenda, and I don't think anybody is going to blow up like completely or like come to that nuclear point. Like everyone
Yeah.
has a plan for the future. Everyone has like strategic moves that they're making in their businesses, politically, whatever. So yeah, I think in the background they're, I don't know, they're trying to, I don't know, negotiate how long this will last. Like you say, I don't think it will be. I hope again it won't be too long.
Yeah. Uh,
But yeah.
the other thing, like on the opposite end of that, there is a chance that, oh, hey, while the world's distracted by this, maybe China tries to go into like Taiwan, maybe China goes in South China Sea, North
Mm-mm.
Korea decides to try to attack South. That probably wouldn't happen. The U.S. would kick their ass like from our base in Seoul. So,
Well,
um,
let's just hope everybody. But listen, tactics like that aren't I'm not going to say they're off the cards, as well. Like
yeah,
the government and they have their own agenda that, no one on this level, even on the reporters level, even on like a lot of political levels, I really don't think they know the crack like with the higher ups. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The 1% that are making the moves and stuff. I think, um,
yeah.
yeah,
The point
they're the ones that decide.
that
They're
tip
the
at the
ones.
top.
Uh-huh.
I wonder. So I don't know where this is going. I don't know if you've heard anything. Have you heard anything about the? I don't know if you even followed it. The Ghislaine Maxwell trial, the lady that
Mm,
was like
mm-hmm.
assistant to Jeffrey Epstein, who didn't kill himself, by the way. Didn't kill.
Did not. Coinky dinks, I think not.
Uh,
Yeah.
do you think that there's? Uh, I don't know. What was the last you heard of that? Like any about the records of people that she was trying to?
Well, I actually, about conspiracy theory heads, so I actually had heard about this Jeffrey stuff before it kind of went mainstream.
Mhm.
Because you've got all, your crypto, not your crypto channels, your conspiracy channels. Obviously, it's all pinch of salt, entertainment purposes with
Yeah.
truth like sprinkled in or whatever. Um, so yeah, I was watching like stuff about him and his little black book that he had and all of the connections that he had and um, yeah, the people that he was like around that
Mhm.
nobody knew who Jeffrey Epstein was, but everybody knew who his friends were, and we would all
Yeah.
recognize people that he'd like connect with. And then you got the royal family side of it. It just got so messy and like so. I was like, oh,
Yeah. They got Prince
um,
Andrew. I
mm.
mean, kind of like he's
So
not in custody or anything, but yeah, they,
just that tarnish is there. Do you know what I mean? That
yeah.
it's there already.
So,
So,
moving on, we got DW saying, "What do you think is a better move? One secret rare Spidey or seven tots? Trying to get as many pins as possible."
oh, okay. I always go for quality over quantity. It's kind of
Okay.
my outlook.
Yeah.
So I think I go for the Spidey.
Yeah, I think I would too, because even if we're talking about renting out, like you're gonna be able to tell what is a secret rare Spidey and not what is not a secret rare Spidey. So
Mm,
I feel like people renting them out would want the best of the best. And there's only 1,000 secret rare Spideys, but there's over 7,000 of the Todds. So
true
for
that.
passive
True
income,
that.
you'll probably be able to get more out of that.
Mm.
What's your favorite collectible that you have right now and why?
Okay, favorite collectible I have right now. Um, I always go to Dragon Girl. She's like I think she's one of the earliest, but it's actually the common one I have. She was like one of the first ones I got on the drops. And I just love her like aesthetic and that Simone uses her as like his muse sort of thing whenever he does like the more fine art um paintings and like watercolor and acrylic work. He
Yeah,
uses her as like his focal point, and will like paint her in lots of different scenarios and that sort of thing. So um yeah, I love the colors on Dragon Girl, the details of the tattoos and everything. I think it's quite unique.
Uh,
Um, yeah.
I hope they have it at DesignerCon where you're going, close to you in Europe. But at DesignerCon in California, there was a physical dragon girl, and that
I
was
saw
really cool.
I
Like, wow, she's
saw
huge. She's huge.
I saw it. It was crazy. And I hope somebody got like an AR photo beside her. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, they did. I know Taps did. There's definitely other people that did. So
Good, good.
yeah, I'll ask them to
Yeah,
send it
man.
to me at some point. Like, oh, hey, let me get
What
that.
about you? What's your top tier fave?
Um, well,
It was
I
hard
mean,
to choose.
there's probably two if we're going like top tiers. I mean, my personal favorite, which not financial, but I love the alligator Lokis. They're so cool. Like, there's so few of them. I think that's the lowest mint secret rare in Marvel. So I really enjoy them. The other one that is like top, I guess like a top tier stuff. I guess Eddie Riso. He's just cool. He's like the
He
cheap. He's
is
the not the cheapest. He's
legend.
the lowest mint one in that first set, and he just looks brolic. He just looks jacked. Like
Brolic.
he does. He looks
Brolic,
amazing.
that's a good word. I've never heard that one.
Yeah, it's a
He
great
is.
word.
He's just freaking tanked out, like any.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
just
Yeah.
so much. Like I wish he put on that much muscle. I don't know. I'm so
You never
jealous of people
know.
that can do
You
that.
gotta training and yoga. You gotta do some yoga.
I know. You
Hmm.
told me. I do. I do.
Hmm.
Gotta do that.
Telling you. And
Um,
I do you, that see yoga for core strength and stuff. It's up there with
I'm
yeah, man.
really tight in like the hamstring, like the ham. So I do have to do that.
Do
I
it. I'm telling you, you'll feel better for it. You'll feel so much better.
You ever do hot yoga?
I haven't actually. I started doing yoga like when I was at work. I was doing night shifts. I was really bored. I was like, what should I
Yeah.
do with my time? Started doing yoga just in my office, um, and just like watch a video and just like do it on my own.
Yeah.
But no, never hot yoga. Is it Bikram yoga? Is that what it's called? Something like that.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. But yeah,
I,
that's. Have you ever tried?
um, I have tried not like a class, but my friend Zenobia used to have like these like they were DVDs. I was like, I could just look this up on YouTube. So I was like, look up stuff on YouTube, and I would try to do stuff, and it was I don't know like the because it's not like strength based, like you're pulling a bunch of weight, but the positions that you're in are they're hard to hold for a while, and it's like
Hmm.
man, it's just awkward. So I get a little
Gets
discouraged.
easier. Gets easier over time. Please don't
But
be disturbed. Don't be discouraged. And every time, like you feel tight, and then you do it one day, and you might move just like this. Your limb might just go a little bit more, stretch out a little, and then over time that turns into this, and then
yeah,
so it kind of it is. It's just that persistence. It definitely becomes easier though over time.
that is a good point. I should have definitely tried that. So some of the drops that we've had, some people are saying that like, oh, we should have it all of them as one giant blind box, like we did with like we did with the Black Panther. Some of
Mm.
them, if you were running things like, how would the drops go? Would you automatically go right to the queue and then it would just be lottery, or would it be try for this, you try for this? Which
Mm.
one's your favorite?
Oh, so it's a tough one. I think with the amount of traffic that we now have, like if that wasn't going to be a problem, um, I don't know, maybe like being able to select which one you want, but then have like a specific queue for each rarity, I guess. Would you have instead of it just being like one big pool, you can select which one that you're kind of interested in and then get in the queue for that one. I don't know.
That'd be
Um,
cool.
mm.
Vivi Fambam says
Bam
she loves this
bam!
interview.
Hey,
Hi. Lonnie Rin loves you too. There's a lot of
hi,
yeah.
Ryan.
So who are you most excited to meet from America, whether it's a YouTube content creator, whether it's someone that's part of the team, whether it's from the VV.
It's Randy Chavez, of
Oh my
course.
goodness! Thank you
Of
so much.
course, Randy, you. Oh, listen, I want to meet all of the YouTubers. I really love. It's gonna be so meta. It's gonna be like the weirdest situation ever. It's like seeing all these people that I've learned so much from, gained so much knowledge and confidence and everything from these people on my screen, and then being able to hug them in real life is gonna be
Yeah.
crazy. It's gonna be crazy. So like yeah, all the YouTube all my YouTube brothers and a couple of sisters, um all the team of course, Reese and Alex, I cannot wait to squeeze the shit out of them.
You gotta
Honestly.
pet Reese's hair. It feels so nice. It's just yeah, it's fantastic. He's so Australian. He's so chill. He's
I
just
can
such a
imagine. I can
yeah,
imagine. He's just like so laid back surfer dude.
yeah. You can tell
No
he lifts
shoes on.
too. Yeah, no shoes on either. Just off the sandals, put his feet up, like it's okay.
Heck yes. Heck yes.
Yeah.
And
Um.
what was it like for you? What was it like? What was the experience? Like I watched your live stream, like when you're walking in to Decon and you were
Oh,
going
yeah.
up to the booth and you went to the wee bar first and then you went over. It was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But what was
So
it like? What was it like?
I know that next time I should not buy my own drink because everyone wanted to buy me drinks, and I got so tipsy that night. I got so drunk.
Oh
Um,
God.
because like I didn't want to be like, nah, I'm good, fam, and like make them feel bad. Oh, can't buy Randy a drink because So I accepted it, and liver took a little while to yeah, to recover, but it was so like one like I saw taps in the lobby, and I was like, I was like looking, I was like. I turned from like normal Chavez to like airplane Chavez, like hi Dad. And
Oh, so good.
he's such a bro. He's so chill. He's just a fun guy. And
I can't wait. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting Traps or Traps.
yeah,
Sorry, Taps for
well, taps
sure.
and traps. They were
Both
they
of
did
them.
this
Both
they
of
did the
them.
Spider-Man meme where they're like,
So good. So
yeah,
fucking good.
yeah.
So good.
They're both really jacked too. Oh, I don't know if I still have it. I got to show it to you if I do. There's this. It was it was in November. Oh, maybe it's not here. Oh no, it is. Oh no, it's not. I was in the room. I don't know who I sent it to. I guess it was I guess it was on my story. So
Okay.
here's like the first like Taps was on the phone. Um but
Yes.
but he was in the bathroom, and he comes out of the bathroom, and like I guess he came out of the shower, and his hair is like over his face, and he looks like a WWE wrestler. So I got a Snapchat of it. And, yeah.
So,
And he's like, "So Brandy, who am I?" I was like, "Kane." And he's like, "What?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm recording." And he's like, "Oh man." Oh, so that was fun. They're so jacked. And Taps is tall. Traps is around my height, but yeah. Um, I remember getting really excited. I saw on the way there Dancing Need Arena and a bunch of the people. So I don't. I think that me and Taps we go there first because we think that Friday's the first day of the con, and I thought that the private like the VIP thing was just like a separate area, not knowing the VIP was just for Friday night and that it started at 5. I thought it went all day. So me and Taps we head to the bar around like I don't know like 1:32 because we're gonna go
oh,
there at like 2:33, and we go there and like is it not open? So we like Google it, and they're like, oh, they don't open till 5. So we go back to the bar. We're
oh
drinking for a
no.
few hours,
No,
and
no.
and then we forget the time, and it's like, oh, it's 5:30, Tap. We gotta go to the con. So we go to
Staggering.
so we see the line forming, and I see like I don't see like the pathway that's like concrete where the fence separates. All I see is like the fence. So I hop over the fence and I fall down. I was like, oh my God.
Oh
And I
no.
was like, oh. And I get back up, and I was like, hi guys. And like, Randy, are you okay? I was like, yeah, why wouldn't I be?
Oh no. Let me. Just the
So
excitement and just oh god, I can imagine. You're
I
steaming though
can't
too, which didn't which I'm sure didn't help.
Dude, I can't wait to meet you and like we get tipsy and then we go really hardcore into these like conspiracy theories. We go like, yo, I think that yeah.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready. It's
I
gonna be
would
great.
what would you what's the most thing if you could visit another time and that includes like your younger self,
Mm.
would you go up to like your 15-year-old self and be like, what are your what are your thoughts and dreams? Like what are your and like talk to them? Because I would be completely making fun of myself for like the fashion and like the dance moves that I thought were cool. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen those
So,
videos, like, teens now and their dance moves are all like coordinated from TikTok, makeup's on point. But like 15 years ago, the eyeshadow
oh,
was insane and the dance moves were like really bad, bye, bye, bye. Like,
heck
and things
yes,
like
dude. Can you like, and you look at a 50, you look at a, how old are you? Do you mind sharing? Or
31.
okay, so I'm 29. We're like sort of in and around the
Around the
same
same, late
ish.
20s, early
Yeah,
30s. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we I can imagine we came up with the same music era, like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that us as 15-year-olds looked like 15-year-olds, or I probably looked younger,
Probably
trying
did.
to look older with like blue eyeshadow and like super heavy, like dark eyeliner and like, oh God,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was insane. All the
Oh,
girls we looked like clown. Like the eyeshadow was insane. The
it
makeup
was
was
terrible.
nuts.
And
Yeah,
you compare that to 15-year-olds today who
and they
look
look.
like full blown glam adults going out to a freaking, you know, event
Oh
somewhere.
yeah,
Like
it's not fair. Where the
it's
YouTube and
crazy.
TikTok lets them. They don't have to go through that ugly phase. They don't have to go
No,
through like
they
what.
don't. They
Yeah,
don't. That's so true. Oh God, they didn't. Yeah, they don't have to figure anything out on their own. We had to like look at magazines and flipping, like wait
yeah.
for
There's
your
no video
weekly magazine.
tutorials.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Those I know I had recently saved an old photo of me as like a passport photo from when I was like 14, and I if I shaved, I looked relatively the same. If I shaved from now, you could tell that I looked the same, but I was just thinner. The hair was fuller. Oh, I can't find it. Oh well, life goes on. Like, how have you changed? Have you like how tall are you? What?
I think 5'8", I think.
Oh, okay, we're like the same height. I'm 5'9", so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um,
I think 5'8", 5'9", I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've been
but
around the
I
same.
I haven't changed. My face hasn't changed since I was born, pretty much. It's like it's just stayed, pretty similar. It's weird.
Always had that mature face.
Mm. But it's an almost like a baby face, not like as you get older, it looks like a baby face, but as you're younger, it's
Yeah.
like a kind of a mature looking face. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I feel you on that. I went through puberty early and I thought when I've been the same height since I was 13 and I
Oh
thought
wow.
that yeah, so I thought that like, yo, I'm gonna be like 6'8", it's gonna be fantastic. And then I just like stopped growing. I was like, what happened? So a little salty about that, but oh well, life
No,
goes on.
no. I hear you guys talking about your height in the community way too much. That is like way too much. And you guys are all perfect. The
Oh,
the
thank you.
height the height that you are. So that's definitely not something that needs to be contested.
Oh, thank you. Well, I cannot find the picture, so oh well, it'll have to wait for next time. I'll send it to you at some
Okay.
point when I
Yes,
can.
send me it. Heck yes.
But so we've gone for about 2 hours. Is there
We have.
anything that you want to like any lasting words or anything that you just want to say like, hey guys, any messages you want to give out to everyone?
Yeah, man. I'd love to return the favor. If you'd love like to come on my channel sometime, we can do
Yeah,
this
that'd be great.
again. We'll just like chat and I'm sorry to everybody in the comments. We've kind of ignored you and been chatting the good chat. Not much Veve. It was more just sort of getting to know each other, which is cool. So thank you,
Yeah.
Randy, for having me on. Um, and yeah, just I'm always about and my whole ethos and journey when it comes to this Veve Web3, crypto, the whole thing. It's a really long like journey, right? It's going to take some time for it to really flesh out,
Yeah.
for the masses to truly understand what we're really getting at. So I just want everyone to not be discouraged by the turbulence that goes on in the world, in the wider world. Like obviously to be concerned, but when it comes to like your investments and all of that sort of thing, just try and practice patience and um, reacting due to something happening across the world or like in the markets, or just
Yeah.
before you react, just like take a step back, think about the long game, think about where this is going to end up. We're all talking like Veveverse and hardware, Apple, Samsung, all of these huge players are thinking like 5-10 year terms. So if I can give any advice to anybody when it comes to Veve and crypto and kind of what we're going through right now with Ukraine and Russia and everything, that there will be real world events that impact what we're all doing and what we're going through. So just try not to irrationally react, I guess, to change and change in the market in general. Yeah. So
Hodl.
and
This is why we
thank you.
hodl.
Hodl
Oh,
all the way, dude.
I found the photo
You
of the
got it?
passport when I was 14.
Is that you?
It's
Look at
baby
your
Chavez,
dude, you're a
the
mullet.
mullet.
You're rocking that mullet, dude.
Yeah.
But your face hasn't changed much either.
I know,
Not at
right?
all.
It's relatively the
Mm-mm.
same.
Yeah, yeah. Very. And you're 13 here?
14. So
14? Wow, you look so much older than 14.
yeah, it was so I like older women and that helped a lot. I was like, yeah, that was like I was one of those guys that used to lie about my age because
Mm.
I liked older women and like there's no way there's like women in the early 20s wanted to be with a 16-year-old, like a 17-year-old. There's no way. So like, no, I'm 19. And yeah.
Wow. Player. Here, well, listen. To each their own, and
Yeah.
exactly, like relationships are relationships, and whoever you gravitate towards is for you, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this has been amazing. Thank you so much, Randy.
No problem. No problem. And Radix, yes, I'm crazy. Superman is one of the safest bets on the app, I think. I think you might agree, Orange Bag Lady, but I like that
It's a
OMI.
classic. It's a
I like that
classic.
OMI. That's for me. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, thank you. All right, so everyone say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to Dashi and Orange Bag Lady. Bye-bye.
Bye, Dashi.
And
I love you, Dashi.
yeah, chill back on the stream after I end the broadcast real quick.
Yes, I will do.
All
Will
right.
do, of course.
All right.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.